Have you ever held a key in your hand, a key to a life you thought was yours, only to find out it unlocks a room you were never meant to see? It was 9:17 p.m. on a Tuesday when the knock came. Not a friendly rap, but a hesitant, almost guilty tap on the oak of our front door. Through the peephole, I saw Mrs. Gable from next door. A woman whose entire vocabulary consisted of complaints about our lawn. She wasn't holding a casserole dish. She was holding a plain manila envelope, her knuckles white. She pushed it into my hands, her eyes refusing to meet mine, and whispered, "I think this belongs to you." "I'm so sorry." The envelope was thin, but it felt like it weighed 1,000 pounds. Inside was a single hotel keycard and a receipt that would burn my world to the ground. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel. Tell us where you're from and what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. For 10 years, Sarah was my everything. We built a life in a quiet suburb of Chicago, on a street lined with maple trees that turned to fire in the fall. Our home was our sanctuary, filled with laughter and the smell of coffee on Sunday mornings. I was a project manager. She was a marketing executive. We were the couple everyone pointed to, the ones who made it. But over the last year, a subtle chill had crept in. Started with her working late, then business trips that popped up with no notice. The excuses were always plausible, sealed with a kiss that felt more like a formality than an act of love. Her phone, once left casually on the kitchen counter, was now her constant companion, its screen always angled away from me. The texts were the first crack in the facade. Late-night messages she'd dismiss as just work stuff, but the sender's name was never a colleague I knew. It was always just a single initial M. When I'd ask, her eyes would turn to ice. "Are you checking up on me? After everything we've been through, you don't trust me?" The manipulation was masterful. She'd twist my concern into an accusation, making me the villain, the one who was insecure and controlling. I'd find receipts from expensive restaurants I'd never been to, tucked away in her coat pockets. "Client dinners," she'd say, her voice flat, daring me to question her further. She and M, who I soon realized was Mark, our smug, recently divorced neighbor, felt untouchable, wrapped in a bubble of their own arrogance. The breaking point came on our anniversary. I'd booked a table at our favorite spot on Rush Street, the place where I'd proposed. She canceled an hour before, a clipped text message about a last-minute deadline. I drove past her office building that night. The entire tower was dark, a hollowed-out skeleton against the Chicago skyline. Her car wasn't in the parking garage. I sat in my car, the engine off, and for the first time in our marriage, I let the full weight of my humiliation wash over me. The man who had everything was a fool, a cliché in a story he didn't even know he was in, at night. Something inside me broke. The loyalty, the love, it all shattered and reformed into something cold, hard, and sharp. It was time to stop being the victim. It was time to start gathering proof. That envelope from Mrs. Gable was the beginning. The receipt was from the Peninsula, a 5-star hotel downtown for a 2-night stay. The name on the reservation wasn't Sarah's, it was Mark's. I hired a private investigator, a grizzled ex-cop who operated out of a dusty office in the Loop. He was expensive, but worth every penny. He gave me photos grainy, long-lens shots of Sarah and Mark kissing in a hotel parking garage, their figures illuminated by the cold, sterile light. He gave me timelines, records of their calls, proof of a life she was living entirely behind my back. I saved every image, every document, to a secure cloud server, a digital arsenal for a war she didn't know was coming. I opened a new bank account and began quietly moving my assets. I met with the best divorce attorney in the city, a woman known for her ruthless efficiency. The trap was being set. The final act was planned with cinematic precision. Sarah's marketing firm was about to close a massive deal, one that would make her a partner. The celebration was a gala at the Art Institute of Chicago, a black-tie affair for the city's elite. She stood at the podium, radiant in a dress I'd paid for, thanking her team, her mentors, and finally me. "And to my husband," she said, her voice dripping with false sincerity, "for his unwavering support through all the late nights." As she spoke, a server, following my explicit instructions, handed her a single, elegant envelope. Inside was a copy of the hotel receipt and one photo of her kissing Mark. Her smile faltered. Her eyes darted around the room searching for me, but I was already gone. At that exact moment, every senior partner at her firm and every member of our families received an email from a burner account with the subject line, "A Story of Betrayal." It contained a link to the cloud server with all the evidence. The fallout was immediate and catastrophic. Her firm, fearing a scandal, asked for her resignation. Her parents, devout and traditional, were horrified. Our friends, who had listened to her complain about my jealousy, saw the truth. She was ruined, socially and professionally. When she finally came home, the locks were changed. A process server was waiting on the front steps with the divorce papers. Through the window, I watched her crumble, her arrogant facade dissolving into pathetic sobs. She had lost everything, because she had been willing to risk everything for nothing. The house sold. The divorce was finalized. I moved to a small, quiet town on the coast of Maine. Sometimes, I walk along the shore and watch the waves crash against the rocks, and I feel nothing at all. The silence she left behind is the only thing that feels real anymore. The end.